So, you're really a 70s fan?
I despise people who don't keep their promises.
Okay, Sonny Chiba, can you dig this? It's I Love the 70s Volume 2, and this is 1974 again. The flicks.
You want to get high on Ripple? What?
The fashions, the fads, the TV, the tunes. A smoking year that gave us even more burning questions. What happened to choking victims before the Heimlich maneuver?
I mean, you could potentially try to dislodge it with a coat hanger.
I don't know what they did.
Is Burt Reynolds irresistible?
If you could just somehow even smell like him for 2 seconds, you'd have Cheryl Tiegs on your wiener.
Is scoring easier thanks to Barry White?
I just make the panties fall off.
Plus, the string bikini. Thank you, Brazil.
How did we ever exist without them?
I want to break free.
And Baryshnikov from Russia with Love.
That's such good PR when the hottest man on the planet leaves your country.
God damn it!
Because you can't get enough 70s. Because you can't stop using your bedazzler. Admit it. This is 1974, Volume 2.
Looking good.
All right. Oh, yeah. Can you dig it? Volume 2.
I love the 70s.
Volume 2, baby.
I love the 70s.
Love is all around, no need to waste it.
You can never tell, why don't you take it?
You're gonna make it after all. Ding, ding, ding.
I've yet to meet somebody in New York who hasn't had the desire to tear their hat off and chuck it up in the air a la Mary.
I'm gonna make it!
Mary Tyler Moore embodies the woman you wanted to be in the 70s.
Oh my God, yeah, I still wish that I was Mary Tyler Moore. She just was like the cutest, prettiest, smartest girl who had the best clothes.
The clothes were almost as important as her character.
She was doing her own thing. She wasn't married.
What doesn't answer to why a person isn't married?
How many different reasons can there be?
65.
She was the original Carrie Bradshaw who never had sex.
It never would even occur to me to equate her with Carrie Bradshaw. Mary Tyler Moore was a good girl from Minnesota. Carrie Bradshaw's a whore.
The chemistry between Mary Tyler Moore and Ed Asner was one of those magical things.
You know what? You got spunk.
Well,
I hate spunk.
Betty White was crazy in that.
oh, my poor baby.
She was one horny bitch. Like, she was always trying to make it with Lou.
Lou, come in. Come in.
You haven't met me. I'm Ted Baxter, the anchor man.
Ted Baxter was played by Ted Knight.
Chuckles the clown died today from...
He had nothing going on. Like, it came in and it went out again.
Chuckles leaves a wife. At least I assume he was married. It didn't seem like the other kind.
What a fabulous cast of characters.
I think we all need some Kleenex.
One of the great things about Mary Tyler Moore is it went out at its peak.
I love 74.
Street Fighter, one of the best, worst karate movies that ever lived.
The bad thing about watching like a Street Fighter movie as a kid is you think because you watch it for a half hour, that then you have the knowledge.
He had this weird way of breathing, and that meant that he was going to get into it.
She was always mad.
Sonny Chiba was basically a poor man's Bruce Lee.
So, that's what you call karate, eh?
Bruce Lee was the pretty boy. Sonny Chiba was kind of scraggly looking, you know?
I despise people who don't keep their promises.
Even when he loved his girl, he was mad at her. She was like, son, you know, I love you. His name was Funaki or something in this movie. Funaki, I love you. Ah!
Sonny kicked you in the balls. He wouldn't care. Sonny was crazy like that.
Not surprisingly, there's very little plot involved.
You had enough?
He just basically annihilates everybody.
He was just always generally pissed off. It's kind of like an Asian Clint Eastwood.
ELO was like the greatest band to come out of the 70s.
It was a big sound. ELO, Electric Light Orchestra.
ELO are one of my favorite bands, no joke. They have a majesticness to their rock and roll.
They made some really great pop songs.
Evil woman.
Evil Woman's my theme song. I am the evil woman.
It was an orchestra, but it was an Electric Light Orchestra.
Electric Lights. Take that, Boston Pop.
Take that, New York Philharmonic. Where's your electric lights?
You know, and they were all wearing disco suits with big crazy poodle hair.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
Jeff Lynne has this weird thing of having like big curly girl hair, but wearing those big Roy Orbison glasses that he never takes off. I think he's an android.
He's kind of like the Unabomber.
The song Turn to Stone was one of those songs that actually could not listen to the radio for 5 minutes without hearing that song.
When you were gone, I turned stone.
Strings too.
Favorite ELO song? Don't Bring Me Down. So I just want to know who Bruce was.
Don't bring me down. Bruce. Don't bring me down.
I wasn't about the songs per se. I was about the visual. It was like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you know?
It seemed like every Electric Light Orchestra album cover had a big spaceship with lots of lights. And that kind of symbolized this is music for the future.
And now, Bruce Lee, Evel Knievel in Stunt Fu.
Everybody, in 1974, the swimsuit fashion changed the whole world with the string bikini.
Because we got to see a lot more of the ladies. Who didn't like that?
Oh, loved the string bikinis.
String bikinis were to my fantasizing as Hamburger Helper was to hamburgers. Very helpful.
My eyes are here. My eyes are here, okay?
It was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, yellow polka dot bikini.
I don't know, what country did it come from?
In Brazil, that's not new. In Brazil, they live for bikinis.
Of course, Brazil, because Brazilian women can pull it off.
String bikinis are not for everybody.
During my pretty years, I was known to wear a string bikini.
I have several problems with them. Little hair on my chest. I'm a little bit flat, and I don't even want to get into when you get an erection. That's really uncomfortable.
How did we ever exist without them? I felt sorry for generations previous who had these big underwear kind of bathing suits, you know? I was just really happy that I was born when I was born.
I love 74. Coming up, Password's fatal flaw.
The game show was instantly ruined because they put the word up on the screen, so it was like you couldn't play along at home.
I want to break free.
And Russia's premier Twinkle Toes jetés over the Canadian border.
A lot of people had defected to the United States from Russia before Mikhail Baryshnikov, but no one had done it with such pizzazz.
Next on I Love 1974, Volume 2, Buttburst.
Charo TV. 1974.
Charo,
you're on.
Okay, let's have fun. In the 70s, when my Coochie Coochie was only a kichi, I was a guest star on many television shows. But there were plenty of others that could have used a taste of Charo. 1974, Little Charo on the Prairie. What a story. This is the story of a tiny-weeny little Charo growing up in the 1800s on the farm. The Ingle teach me how to milk a cow and how to char butter. In return, I teach them how to Ay, Chihuahua! Little House on the Prairie, very popular. But Little Charo on the Prairie, now that is a classic.
I love the 70s.
Volume 2. We're back with porn or not porn.
Hi, I'm John Waters, and it's time to play Porn or Not Porn. Here are 3 titles from 1974. You guess which are pornos and which are regular movies.
It just feels good.
Blazing Zippers. Okay, this was a porno, but it's not a real imaginative title. Next up, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. I was hoping this would combine 2 of my deviant faves, swashbuckling and water sports, but no, it's a regular pirate movie. And finally, Fulfillment. While this may sound like a Barbra Streisand movie, it was, in fact, a porno. I'm John Waters. Thanks for playing, but I gotta run. I just located a vintage copy of Star Whores. Want to join me?
From Hollywood, the word game of the stars, Password.
I love the Password game show.
Are you ready to go? Everybody ready?
Each team in Password is composed of a celebrity and a non-celebrity. They take turns giving each other clues for the password.
The password is chocolate.
The password is mischief.
The game show was instantly ruined because they put the word up on the screen, so it's like you couldn't play along at home.
So what are you going to do, Diane?
I believe I'll pass. Anyone can play at home as long as you covered the bottom third of your television screen with duct tape.
Jimmy Dean Bacon.
More?
Green, lime. Oh, so close. Guacamole, dude.
Sometimes if you had the perfect clue, you would have to repeat it.
Minus?
Less.
Minus?
Subtract.
Dude, what are you thinking? And then you gave him that look. Like, come on, you know this.
And you could inflect your voice differently to try and affect things.
Sweaty.
Sweetie.
Sweaty?
Larry King.
Let me tell you, when I used to watch Password, I discovered what anxiety attacks were.
It was great because you could almost see like a celebrity on the brink of craziness.
Glass cutter?
There were 2 game shows when I was a kid that was like why I wanted to be famous. And one of them was definitely Password.
I love 74.
Time for Burt Reynolds' mustache. Time for Burt Reynolds' mustache. That was Burt Reynolds' mustache. That was Burt Reynolds' mustache.
Bitchin'.
I just want to celebrate.
Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record, which was a phenomenal feat.
The event was such a big deal because Babe Ruth had held it for 146 years or something like that, if I have my figures correct.
714 home runs always seemed like a number that was going to last forever. And Hank came along and proved that nothing's impossible.
I've always said that good things come to those who wait.
People weren't happy about Hank Aaron breaking the record. The Babe was beloved. The Babe was, white. Hank, not so much.
What kind of death threats do you get trying to hit a home run? I'm going to trade your bat and make it a whiffle. You better bunt it or you're in trouble.
They want to live in the past, they want to think about the time when they saw Babe Ruth play 40 or 30 years or 40 years ago, when he hit 700 home runs. They don't want this marquee race.
Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive.
I was watching the game, April 8th, 1974, Hank Aaron going against Al Downing.
There are some times in your life you know exactly where you were, what you're doing that moment when.
It is gone! Out of here! He did it! He did it! Henry Aaron!
Hank Aaron, 715, right there. Babe Ruth rolling in his grave because a black man broke the record.
There's nothing can be said to add any more drama to this, so let's just watch it.
The indelible image of this moment was always Hank circling the bases and having some fans basically run with him.
And the guys come up, and Hank kind of looks like he assessed the situation and he didn't feel any danger. But I tell you what, I think I would have drop-kicked him like Jackie Chan, man, because that's dangerous to run out there.
Well, like I said before, I finally made it after 20 years.
Move over, babe. Here comes Andy.
That was one of those moments etched in my mind forever. Took him a long time to do it, but he did it. So give him his props. You can't front on him.
News break.
In 1974, Baryshnikov jetted across the Iron Curtain.
For Mr. Baryshnikov, this has been a very trying ordeal.
You know, he just went on tour one day to North America, and then he just never went back.
It caused a huge conflict between the Soviet Union and the United States because he was their star.
A lot of people had defected to the United States from Russia before Mikhail Baryshnikov, but no one had done it with such pizzazz.
He felt that in Russia, he had achieved a plateau in his professional career.
You say you're gonna leave, gonna take that big white bird.
Dancing for the Soviets was oppressive. I mean, they never once allowed him to do a jazz square.
Whereas in the United States, you know, if he wanted to do Ballet Naked, people would pay $50 a ticket to go see that. I know I would.
If you defected, you got all of the perks of being a star.
What were the perks? Aside from the millions of dollars and choice of companion, I don't know. Probably none.
His lawyer said that the escape was well planned and executed smoothly.
Everybody thought he was gay. Baryshnikov came to New York and he nailed everything.
Jessica Lange, who's like the coolest, sexiest lady, and then she goes with him and go back to Russia and dance. Twinkle toes.
I think they were probably thrilled when he left. That's such good PR when the hottest man on the planet leaves your country.
I love 74.
Coming up, the ruling on Bert. Stash or no stash?
I don't know. Maybe without the mustache, it was just too much upper lip.
And the gaudy grandeur of the bedazzler.
Because the 70s fashion wasn't tacky enough. Let's put rhinestones in it.
Well, what I need is a shot of bourbon.
Plus, the socio-political impact of Chico and the Man.
I would have killed that Whitey. You know what I'm saying?
Next on I Love 1974, Volume 2. But first, songs to make whoopee to.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. You know, everyone loves to make whoopee. That's why I've compiled this great new album, Eubanks, Songs to Make Whoopee To. This double LP has all the classics, such as
Get down, get down.
Whoop Whoop Whoopee. Please, sir, may I have another? Jungle Boogie.
Shake it around.
If This Van's Rockin'. Free Lovin' Don't Cost a Dime. Hooked on a Feeling.
I'm hooked on a feeling.
This special double LP set is available for a limited time only. Also available on 8-track and cassette. Don't wait. Order now. I'm Bob Eubanks. Keep on whooping.
Then, and now, 1974.
Hi, I'm Allison Arngrim. 30 years ago, I played Nellie Olson, that little blonde bully on Little House on the Prairie. That's right. 3 decades ago. Luckily, time's been good to me. Makeup. Let's take a look at what the last 30 years have done to these people. James Taylor. Then and now. Melissa Gilbert, half pint. Then and now. Hey, she's looking good. By the way, Melissa, nice rack. Bob Barker. Then and now. Hope you didn't judge too harshly. Remember, half pints. Someday you'll be 3 decades older.
I love the 70s.
Volume 2, baby.
Don't be discouraged. The man, he ain't so hard to understand. I know
things will be better. Oh, yes, they will for Chico and the Man.
Chico and the Man, that was a TV show that did for Latinos what Sanford and Son did for black people. Which is not a lot.
Now get this pumpkin out of here.
It's not my job, man.
Don't give me your family motto. Just do as I say.
They both sat around doing nothing in this garage that never had any business. I don't remember a car ever pulling in. At least in Sanford and Son, there was junk.
Jack Albertson as Ed, the man, very old man.
Jack Albertson's character was a drunk.
Well, what I need is a shot of bourbon.
Who had enslaved illegal alien labor.
Hey, what's wrong with this clunker?
No brakes.
No brakes? What does a Mexican need brakes for? After the first half mile, he runs out of gas anyway.
I was always waiting for Chico to just smack him outside his head, shut him up. I would have killed that whitey, you know what I'm saying?
Freddie Prinze Sr. was pretty much like one of the few Latin guys on TV.
Do you know how those Anglos are? They say one thing and mean another. That's why they make such great politicians.
For those of you who don't know, that's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s father.
Chico was a ladies' man. He was a young, hip cat.
Looking good.
I think Freddie Prinze probably did okay with the ladies.
Freddie Prinze always had this tight pants on, man, and it got me pissed because I would say, holy crap, what does he have in his pants? I'd look down and go,
You know what your trouble is? You don't have anyone your own age to talk to, tell your troubles to. Who did you tell your troubles to before you hired me?
Before I hired you, I didn't have any troubles.
Sort of stretched the racial boundaries of what was accepted on TV.
It was just a good chemistry.
A lot of those shows, I think, are a lot better than what we see now.
Uptight.
When I was growing up, the heroes of my school were the Harlem Globetrotters.
It was the most fun thing ever to see. I wouldn't miss them every Sunday. ABC Wild World of Sports.
It was just like a bunch of like a maverick gunslinging basketball players who just did the greatest tricks.
Curly Neal, the Meadowlark. Back out to Osby. To Bobby Joe Mason, the Meadowlark.
They all had personalities, too. There was Meadowlark Lemon.
Watch this move. Meadowlark leaves the ball, picks it up.
And there was Curly.
How do you like Curly's ball handling?
He's always had these long, goofy legs and pigeon-toed and looked goofy.
They just had the tricks that you'd be like, damn.
You know, this is just the start. You know, this doesn't even get you through the door, and I can't even do it.
Time out! Globetrotters call time!
Globetrotters call timeout.
Time again!
I like the when he stuck it in his shirt. And then looked at the guy in front of him like, where'd he go?
I threw it! It's over there!
Down the expressway for two.
Okay, here we go. There's something wrong with this ball.
You know, NBA, yeah, whatever, you run up and down the court, shoot. I want to see the confetti in the bucket.
Meadowlark would grab the bucket of water, start running towards the crowd, and then he'd throw it into the crowd, and it was actually confetti. We saw that 1,000 times, and we always laughed.
Then you go to an NBA game, you're like, this is boring. What the fuck is this? Where's the bucket of confetti?
They'd always face the Washington Generals, and the Washington Generals never won a game.
This team of just mostly white guys who would just have no chance.
That was racism because they were white guys, and they were all goofy, and you do a trick, and they're like, how the hell would he do that? I mean, that was pretty up.
Night after night, the black guys are whooping the white guys' asses. And on a certain level, that's satisfying. Of course, it was all for show.
During that time in the 70s, they really became like fixtures.
There was a cartoon. They ride the Globetrotter bus and bounce the ball. You dribble a ball at 55 miles per hour. Only a Globetrotter can do that.
I love 74.
Look who's got a Faraday.
Don't you wish you had one too?
Smoking.
This is Burt Reynolds. This is Burt Reynolds.
In the 70s, Burt Reynolds was the biggest movie star in the world, bar none.
Burt Reynolds was sex on wheels.
He was so damn butch. Throughout the 70s, Burt Reynolds just seemed like a mainstream porn star.
Hey, look, I'm in show business. I'm a big star.
If you wanted to be a sexy guy in the 70s, you needed to have one thing, and that was the big mustache.
Without the mustache, he could be Bob Reynolds. Who cares?
I don't know. Maybe without the mustache, it was just too much upper lip.
Burt Reynolds had hair from here just straight down. But it wasn't too thick. It was just perfect.
He had like Brillo. Do you know the thing that when you wash the dishes and have Brillo? That was the whole thing. A little gorilla type. But it was hot.
If you could just somehow even smell like him for 2 seconds, you'd have Cheryl Tiegs on your beer.
Now, let's get down to business.
I hope so.
Burt Reynolds dated Dinah Shore, even though she was 15, 20 years older than him.
I'd like to take you off to Palm Springs, possibly for, you know,
How long?
get acquainted.
Oh, really? Now?
Well, after the
goodbye,
show,
folks. I hope you enjoyed our show today.
Burt Reynolds was quite a ladies' man.
He did what any sexy guy should do. Go out with the girls.
You know, like Sally Field.
After Sally Field was Lonnie Anderson.
How sweet it is to be loved by you.
The brown-eyed, brown-haired girls are the best. I really think he should have stuck with Sally Field. You know, she didn't mind a little bit of this. Kind of sexy.
Burt Reynolds remains one of the most testosterone-riddled human beings that have ever walked this earth.
Thank you very much.
Vintage vinyl.
I was definitely a huge fan of Can't Get Enough of Your Love.
Can't get enough of your love.
Barry White was the dude in the 70s. Anything that came out on the radio with him on it, you turned it up.
It just oozed sex.
Oh, Barry White's voice, honey. Boy, like cutting butter with a hot knife right there, honey.
Before roofies came along, you had to throw on some Barry White if you wanted to get a chick in the sack.
Barry just make the panties fall off.
I was only a little kid then, and I'd get a boner. Listen, I gotta find a lady.
The shocker of actually seeing Barry White, like the body behind the voice, it doesn't match. Like you're like, wow, he's a big dude.
I think honestly he was getting a whole lot more love than I was getting.
Like he really knew how to get it happening, you know? And the records show he got it on a lot. And he made lots of sweet love.
Kind of introduced you to a world that, if you were really young, you didn't know so much about, but you definitely wanted to be a part of.
Bitchin'.
Out of all the inventions in the 70s, and we're talking like pet rock, cocaine, the bedazzler is the most important.
Yo, this came out 74?
It changes everyday clothing into exciting fashion.
Say you've got a jean jacket. Terrific. Everybody likes a jean jacket. However, maybe you'd like your jean jacket to be studded with rhinestones. How could I do that? Enter bedazzler.
Because the 70s fashion wasn't tacky enough. Let's put rhinestones in it.
It works so easily that anyone can stylize jeans, jackets, shirts, pants.
It's a big old stapler.
Simply mark your material, insert a stud or rhinestone, and push gently.
Made it look so perfect, and there's no way that you could ever really do like a scene of the Eiffel Tower.
For young and old, it's great fun.
Who was buying the bedazzler? Well, it required no electricity, so I imagine a lot of Amish entertainers purchased it.
If anybody was going to bedazzle, it was going to be the Osmonds.
And my mom was a lunatic with one of these. She covered everything with feathers and rhinestones.
Mom will love her rhinestone and stud setter, not only for clothes, but for creating decorative handbags.
You made me so very happy.
I've taken a plain T-shirt, and by just a few minutes, I've made a cherished, desirable garment of fashion.
I love 74.
Coming up, the movie that morphed into Alice, the sitcom.
You have Jodie Foster, Ellen Burstyn, directed by Martin Scorsese. How did that all become a TV show that said, "Kiss my grits"?
And the fun never stops on the Sit and Spin.
So not fun. How could you get sick of this? How could this get old?
Plus, the rumbly special effects of Earthquake.
This was a highly developed technology that was essentially a big giant vibrator put underneath your chair.
Next on I Love 1974, Volume 2. But first, the guitar gods of 1974.
Hi, Peter Frampton here, bringing you the guitar gods that made 1974 come alive. Alex Lifeson of Rush, Canadian Norse god. Bad Company's Mick Ralphs in God's Good Company. And Eric Clapton. Clapton is God. And those were the guitar gods of 1974.
The survivors of 1974.
Hi, I'm Gloria Gaynor, and when I first sang I Will Survive, you better believe I meant it. I survived Watergate, Afro Sheen, and even avocado green appliances, but I wasn't the only one. Here are the survivors of 1974. Diane Keaton survived the Corleones. Hef Pint survived Nellie and the Prairie. And Florida Evans survived living with J.J. Dynamite. Those were the survivors of 1974. Now go walk out the door.
I love the 70s.
Volume 2.
Who cares? I don't give a damn.
If you open your mouth once more, I swear to God, I'm going to nail it shut.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore is a movie with Ellen Burstyn, director Martin Scorsese.
Ellen Burstyn takes her brat kid to, what was it, Tucson?
Mom, are we in Arizona yet?
If you ask me that one more time, I'm going to beat you to death.
Alice's son, Tommy, was kind of bratty.
He's sort of a wise ass. How long do you think we'll have to stay in this hellhole?
Here's a single mom, you know, busting her ass for her kid. And he's giving her such a hard freaking time.
You're annoying me.
Ellen Burstyn was the sweetheart of the 70s. She was the actress. She was the real actress.
She was sort of, you know, strong, independent, trying to get her act together, trying to raise her kids, salt of the earth kind of babe. Yeah, she was. She was doing her thing.
What? What's your problem, kid? Huh? What do you want from me? What is it?
She was a symbol of single moms that bust their ass to keep the family together.
Okay, you can relax, kid. I got a job.
Where?
When I saw it, I kind of went, wow, that's what real life is like, I guess, huh? It must suck to wait tables.
Alice goes and starts working at Mel's Diner, and she meets a guy played by Chris Christopherson.
Did you decide what you want for breakfast?
First, I want a big smile.
And she falls in love.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
I always found Chris Christopherson extremely sexy, older than the hills. Just the weathered look on Chris Christopherson. Sexy.
I want you and Tommy with me. What the hell do you want?
The sensitive, caring, I look dangerous, but I really care about you kind of guy.
You want to get high on Ripple? What?
Jodie Foster plays one of Tommy's playmates, basically, who gets him into drinking.
What was she, like 12 there? She liked to drink. You know, she was cute. She was my kind of woman, especially since I was about maybe 6 at that time.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore became a kind of cheesy sitcom called Alice.
You have Jodie Foster, Ellen Burstyn, directed by Martin Scorsese. How did that all become a TV show that said, kiss my grits? Tell me that.
Vintage Vinyl.
One of my favorite songs from Gladys Knight and the Pips' Midnight Train to Georgia.
It's a great song. It's like one of those songs in history that's kind of perfect.
That song was about a woman in love with a man, and she said she didn't care if he was going, she was gonna follow him. That's the same thing. If my man go, I'm getting on that midnight train to Compton. Woo, woo! On that midnight train to Georgia.
That's all I wanted to do was woo-hoo! I wanted to blow that horn.
Gladys Knight was always beautiful, always calm, always stylish. Then she had the Pips, which were her backup singers.
They weren't necessarily imperative to the act, but they did like some good swing moves behind her.
Why did she call them Pips?
It was short for Pipsqueaks. It was a Gladys Knight and the Pimps, and they had trouble with standards.
Ah, that's what it was.
I actually thought, I was little, and I thought it was Gladys Knight and the Pimps. And that didn't even strike me as strange. I was young. I thought Pimps were backup singers. Could have gotten me into a lot of trouble.
They would have had big-ass fedoras and would have been like this. On the midnight train to Georgia, and it wouldn't look right. I still don't know what Pips are. So Gladys, give me a call.
I love 74.
Now let's see what Dom cooked for Michael and Fredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo Corleone. He broke my heart. But I fed him anyway.
Foxy.
Sit and Spin was the junk when I was a kid. Basically, it's a miniaturized, merry-go-round.
You get on it, and then you spin it, and then
Kids would come off of it drunk.
You have like these very drunken-looking kids wandering around the house.
The sit and spin could have also been called the twirl and hurl.
If you had any sort of motion sickness, which I did, you couldn't wait to get the off the sit and spin.
Spinning, it takes practice. You have to do the hand over the hand thing.
The novelty never wore off. This thing was intense, hours and hours of fun.
Stay low and lean. Stay low and lean. Stay low and lean. Oh, God.
This is so not fun. How could you get sick of this? How could this get old?
This looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen here, VH1.
Hours of fun. I think you need someone smaller to do this bit.
Dynamite. Dr. Henry J. Heimlich, a leading specialist in esophagus surgery, has devised a simple first aid procedure, the Heimlich maneuver.
Before the Heimlich maneuver, there was this process called everyone stand around and stare at the choking person.
I mean, you could potentially try to dislodge it with a coat hanger. I don't know what they did.
Like pre-Heimlich, you couldn't go out to dinner. Someone in the restaurant was going to keel over and die. That ruins it for everybody, I think.
I like the fact he named it after himself. Yeah. What a great maneuver. I'll call it after me.
Grasp your fist with your other hand and press into the abdomen with a quick upward thrust. And that's it.
Whatever they're choking, you push a little air out. Yeah, that makes that sound too. Out. Pops out.
Repeat if necessary.
Wrap your arms around the victim's waist, making a fist, oh my gosh, place fist against the person's upper abdomen.
If arms cannot reach around the victim, go immediately to the floor procedure. If arms can't reach around the victim, this isn't their debut choking. They've spent an awful lot of time cramming food down their throats.
Sometimes when the honesty's too
One can perform the Heimlich maneuver on themselves.
One wrote to us that she fell against the back of a chair.
Just sort of drop and just kind of put the pressure. Oh, God. When the sausage comes out, you say to everybody, I was choking, I was not humping the back of the chair.
That's fine, thank you.
I love 74. Coming up, the score, Earthquake 1, Chuck Heston 0.
He can part the Red Seas. He can save us from a future of talking monkeys. You'd think he could save us from an earthquake.
Earthquake, next on I Love 1974, Volume 2. But first, That's No Jive, Turkey, with Greg Fitzsimmons.
The great thing about the string bikini is your tan lines, it's very movable. Like in the morning, I'll wear it like this, and then in the afternoon, I'll go off shoulder. Or I'll have my wife loosen the back a little bit. But the worst is, I remember laying on the beach one time and I undid the back because I didn't want tan lines on my back, and these teenage boys dropped ice on my back, and I sprung up and was fully exposed.
But wait, there's more.
Craving some Volume 2 bonus material and 70s ringtones? Then log on to VH1.com and make sure to check out V-Spot.
Hey, I'm not a Brady.
Hi, I'm Christopher Knight. Some of you may know me as Peter Brady, but indeed, I'm Christopher Knight. You see, I'm real. Peter is a freaking fake. I thought you should know the difference between Cindy Brady and Susan Olsen, too, okay? Cindy Brady once set a teeter-totter record, and Susan Olsen once designed glow-in-the-dark Converse shoes. Cindy Brady had a doll named Kitty. Susan Olsen has a son named Michael, named after, like, Looking Lad, Bobby Brady. See? Susan's not Cindy, and I'm still not Peter. So if you see me on the street, don't offer me pork chops and applesauce. A simple hi, Chris, will be just fine.
That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
Very Brady Day.
I love the 70s.
Volume 2.
Earthquake was another fine disaster film starring Charlton Heston.
You got a disaster of global proportions that might show up in the Bible, Chuck Heston will be there.
It had that type of 70s novelty appeal where the movie itself was a piece of crap.
We live in an earthquake zone. What can I tell you?
It was all about the special effects. Terrible miniatures. This is like one of the Godzilla films.
I think the earthquake only lasts for like a minute of the movie, and then it's people sort of dealing with the mayhem.
Look, I think there's some people alive in there, and I'm going to try and get them out.
Stuart.
Charlton Heston had this really smoking hot girlfriend that lived in the hills. And the whole movie was about him trying to get back to get her.
The plot itself did not seem especially memorable. I remember Ava Gardner, who was memorable in everything.
Oh, Dad, don't be so naive. I know they're having an affair.
Ava Gardner plays Remy Royce Graff, and she's got a very well-to-do father, and Lorne Greene is very freaky.
Ava Gardner's father is played by Lorne Greene, which means that Lorne Greene was 7 years old when he sired Ava Gardner.
God damn it!
What made Earthquake so special is that you could see it in Sensorama. This was a highly developed technology that was essentially a big giant vibrator put underneath your chair.
It was exciting because you forgot that they were going to do that, and all of a sudden the earthquake starts and the seats are shaking, and you're going, wow, this is really happening.
It was all hype. But I'm a sucker for any kind of showmanship, so I was there opening day, ready to be rocked in my seat.
The big thing about Earthquake is that Charlton Heston, spoiler alert, dies at the end of the movie.
He can part the Red Seas. He can save us from a future of talking monkeys. You'd think he could save us from an earthquake. Go figure.
I love 74.
Guess this Joe, it's Joe you know. If you don't know this Joe, then it's a Joe you don't know. But if you can guess this Joe, it's a Joe you know. So guess this Joe, hey, guess this Joe.
Joe DiMaggio.
I love 74. VH1 You Ought to Know, introducing you to artists on the rise. An enchanting British songbird.
Three little birds sat on my window.
Corinne Bailey Rae captivates with a blend of delicate purity and soulful warmth.
It's about finding your identity in music.
VH1 presents Corinne Bailey Rae.
I think music's really powerful for that. It can find you a little world. You can make your own world.
For more on Corinne Bailey Rae and other You Ought to Know artists, go to VH1.com.
Tom, I'm losing it, man. Come on. Let's get out of here.